Hey everyone, my task for the second project, part 2, was to think about all needed to organize a senior prom for 100 senior citizens living in a retirement home. The first subordinate that I chose was CJ Ray from Jaden Salisbury. He worked in an Italian food factory, and I felt like he could help prepare the food for prom and make sure that there was enough for everyone throughout the night. He had described having a lot of responsibility, and he gave a lot of effort while working. The second subordinate that I chose was Sarah from Nick Fairley. She teaches music and performs live music. She said that she enjoyed music the most and worked the hardest at it because it was her true passion, so I feel like she could provide a lot of great music for the prom night. The third subordinate that I chose was Michelle Lee from Millievo. She was a homemade care assistant and had experience working with a lot of older patients or patients that had disabilities, and I felt like it's always great to have somebody around who kind of knows what they're doing just in case something did go wrong. She may also know more about senior citizens and kind of like what activities they like or different music they like to play, so I feel like she would be a very good asset to have for prom night. And the last subordinate that I chose was John Doe from Justin Castle. He helped out at a bistro, and I felt like he could help with running food and cleaning up during prom. He ran around a lot and was on top of cleaning, and he said it was the hardest job that he had worked. So I think that he would be great to keep everything in line. The leadership theory that I would use is Fiedler's contingency theory, and I would be a task-oriented leader. I would use this because an entire task would be delegated to one person rather than several people, and each employee does have different capabilities when it comes to putting on the prom. I would give equality and equal responsibility when it came to completing their tasks and figuring out ways to be the most effective. I would give each subordinate a thorough instruction list on what to be done the night of the prom, and I would put it in a detailed and organized list of events. I would want my subordinates' feedback at the end of the night, kind of telling me how they think that they did with their tasks, and then I would evaluate their performance based on what I saw and give feedback back to them about the night and reward them for helping out and making it a great night for all of the senior citizens. One potential communication issue that I would need to address was making sure that everybody was kind of staying on task with the list that I had given them at the beginning of the night. I know from experience that when given a list, a lot of people do things kind of on their own time, and people usually run at different paces, and I would just want to make sure that everyone was kind of aware of each subordinate's responsibilities, and like if one person did finish up early or anything like that, then they could just go and help the other subordinates with their tasks and keep everything as efficient as possible to make the night run smooth. One motivation technique that I would use would obviously to be getting paid at the end of the night, but I would pay them based on their performance, and like I mentioned earlier, I would give feedback from them based on what they had told me and what I had seen throughout the night, and I would evaluate them and pay them based on that. I would also provide them with a free dinner throughout the night so that they can keep on track of everything. And I think that the group dynamic would run pretty smooth because no one's really doing the same job or having to worry about running into someone or someone doing something they're supposed to do. So I don't think that there would be very much conflict because there's no competing against each other. And everyone's there to ensure a good night for the senior citizens. It's more about them than it is about the subordinates and what they think. So I would just want to make sure that all of the senior citizens had a great and unforgettable night.